This week on our podcast, me and Mike will discuss the main card to UFC 200.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Okay, like I said before, me and Mike are going to talk about UFC 200, which, Mike, I've got to be honest, you're excited, I'm excited, everyone's hyped up, okay? Let's kick off starting first, though, with a link, so to speak, to UFC 200. Brock Lesnar's fighting on that card in the main event. His foe at UFC 100, Frank Mir, recently failed a test and got suspended 2 years. He went on the Ariel Helwani show to discuss and basically request his release from the UFC so he could possibly go and venture outside of the States to basically keep an source of income, because 2 years without fighting when you're not injured, you know, it's a bit of a waste of time for him, especially at his age, you know, coming up to the 40s. It's not the ideal situation, Mike. So I think it would be a sensible decision from the UFC. There's no need to keep him, because especially by the time he gets finished, I think he'll be 39 when his suspension's cleared. I think it was come up close to 40. I think just he should go. Like, let him go.
Yeah,
let him do
exactly. The ban actually doesn't just entail his fighting; it's also commentary as well. So he can't even be a panelist, which is like, why are you trying to crucify someone's career? You know. So, I think that the decent thing to do would be to release him, let him go off. He can. Yeah, he's fighting the cream of the crop in the UFC. If he leaves the UFC, straight away he's... Yeah, I mean, like, except for one or two fighters out there, he's pretty much got it sorted. So he gets to pad his wage packet before he retires.
So probably the smartest thing, and like we said off air, you know, he could go to Russia, go with EFN and fight, you know, Fedor, because if the UFC deal maybe doesn't happen, also he's got the option of Maldonado, who signed a 4-fight contract with EFN as well. So there's a lot of options in that sense. Rizin, like we said, in Japan.
And against either of those fighters, you'd be tempted to put your money on Frank Mir.
Yes, and Frank Mir would take it because it's a more favourable fight for him to win. Like, I'd rather go out winning. At least go out with 1 or 2 wins. That'd be a nice thing to go, especially in the UFC. He was not going to get an easy fight. He was just going to fight another monster after another monster. The probability of winning goes down.
Can you imagine retiring as a former 2-time UFC heavyweight champion, one of the only people to beat Brock, and if he somehow got a win over Fedor? That's not a bad way to go out, is it?
It's not a bad way. Well, 3 people have beaten Brock so far, so it's not so far. I'm saying so far.
But a few people have had Brock smash as well, so.
And talking about Brock, UFC 200, Mike, all right. So we spoke last week on the podcast. We got a handful of fights in that were on the UFC Fight Night card, the tough finale card, Mike. We had to basically talk about the undercard in the UFC. There's too many fights. If you were to break them all down,
there's not too many.
We're basically doing like 3 different podcasts for each card and going into everything. So we essentially just broke it down quickly, talked about particular fights, and now we're going to talk about the main card of the UFC 200, Mike, which I am dying at work. Okay, I am sat at work on my phone using the Wi-Fi at work, and I'm just like refreshing my Twitter, going on YouTube, looking for new UFC videos or anything UFC Fight Week related. I'm on Instagram. I'm doing everything because I can't sit and it's driving me insane. I do not care. I literally this afternoon or the other day did 0 work for a few hours because I just didn't care. I was looking up footage. I was looking up results. I was looking at interviews. I was doing it all because I just don't care about the world right now. All I care about, Mike, is this week, like these free fight cards. I'm going to go in, watch them, and the world can just go away. Like I said, the main card, Mike, it's a good way to start a fight on a main card. Travis Rousey is fighting C-level Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, it's... What fight card, other than this one, would you have those opening the main card.
It's
no other card in the world. It'd be main event. It'd be the main card, main fight.
It would be main event or co-main event, depending on. Yeah, it could be like.
Yeah. It's like it wouldn't be. It wouldn't even be third to anyone.
It's a great fight.
No, fourth.
It's a good matchup. I like it, especially for Cain Velasquez, who. Well, I like it for both parties because both of them have got their own little demons that need answers.
There's questions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And there's a lot going into it, Mike. So your perspective, your view on this fight, Mike, before I jump in and basically throw all the info, Nation bombs down.
Yeah, it's you've got to go with Cain, but we don't know. Like he's so injury prone. How injury prone has he been throughout training? We don't know because unless you're there, you're not getting. You don't know everything, but hopefully he's been fit and he's 100%. As for Travis, what's he been doing since he's been training with the girlfriend? I don't know. I don't think he's been getting better training because to come away from Albuquerque, yeah, it's yeah. Why would you leave there? You know what I mean? I don't know, but other than you get to nail Ronda Rousey, I can see the perks, but yeah, it's like your training's got to take a hit, like but it'd be. I don't know. I've got to go with Cain. I've got to go with Cain on this one.
Why would you go with Cain? What's your reasoning, Mike? Because you're sitting here, and I need more in-depth analysis, Mike. This is a very bland,
okay. He's been
potato fan. Come on, man.
Right. He's been tried and tested, and the only times he's come unstuck is against Purdue at altitude, where his training had been, where he'd left things a bit late, shall we say. And it does matter. It really does matter. And a quick fire knockout loss, which can happen to anyone. This guy's beating the who's who of the heavyweight division. He could become champion again, without doubt. As long as injuries and right preparation. Travis Brown, yeah, he can win, but I just don't think he will.
I like the matchup because there's a lot of factors that go into the fight. Okay, like you said before, Cain Velasquez with injuries. Okay, yes, he has been injured in the past before. He's coming off a long layoff with injuries. How fit is he? The thing is, he has had so many injuries. It takes a toll on your body, and he is fighting in the heavyweight division. So those impacts on those joints is a lot greater than a guy who's fighting the lightweight division against smaller guys. It's not the same kettle of fish. Cain Velasquez as well. He's had him and DC have been training and sparring together for this fight, and I'm sure Luke Rockhold helped as much as he could. I know Luke Rockhold will be there for this weekend. But
I heard he's still been wiping his front bottom.
No, Mike, but listen, the thing is, Cain Velasquez, there comes a time when, you can be the baddest man on the planet, but those injuries...
Yeah, your body can't sign those checks anymore.
They take a toll, and they really can make a difference on the body. It's a 3-round fight, so Travis Brown's cardio, as long as he has a decent enough cardio, you don't have to worry too much. If it's a 5-round fight, I could probably more favour Cain if he can prolong it. Travis Brown, questions for him. Can he ever beat a guy who's in that top echelon in the heavyweight division? That's his problem. He's always been just shy getting into that mix of the top guys. Big opportunity. Yeah. And I think, Mike, the thing is, he knows this. He knows that this fight is really big for his career, because if he doesn't win here, he'll kind of get stuck with that label of always just falling short. Like when he fought Alistair Overeem, Alistair Overeem was, I think, still juiced up, maybe, and his style was different than it was now. The Alistair Overeem now fighting Travis would be a different fight, I feel. But anyway, besides that as well, Cain Velasquez loves the wrestling, loves to grapple, loves to get guys down. Travis, everyone knows Travis has got that vicious elbow defense for guys who want to take him down. And that's something that Travis himself has developed because he is so long and tall. His counter, instead of maybe not just having awesome wrestling, is that beautiful elbow as a defense. It's a deterrent away from wanting to take someone down. He also has Ricky Lundell in his corner, helping him with the wrestling. And Ricky Lundell is one of the smartest and the best wrestling coaches around the world. He is legit. Dude is a genius. How much more he's been improving Travis, we don't know. We've not been able to see in the background. I agree. Travis's training partners are not the level of Kane's training partners, but this one is it's a lot closer than I think the bookies and everyone else realize. I'm going to go underdog, Mike. I'm going to go Travis Browne underdog simply because I have an underdog. I want to go for the underdog in this one. It's not. I think Travis Browne keeps flailing, but I think maybe he might put a bit more of a better performance in. He doesn't beat the guys that Kane has, but I feel like always betting against Kane from now onwards due to the fact that his body has to give in at some point with the amount of injuries he's had, and it's either going to be now or it's going to be next fight. I can't see it being in 10 years' time.
No. Also, another reason I went for Kane was some of his most important wins have been on the brink of losses. And like when he beat Overeem, he was razor thin close to getting finished and then turned it around.
Yeah.
So even though he got a win that night, do you know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? Without those knees and what have you, it could have easily been another loss. Whereas Kane, we've never really seen him in one of those kind of fights where he's almost lost and managed to get it back. He's always dominated, except for when he fought for Doom.
And he lost to Jon Jones in a quick finish.
Yeah, and the quick fire one. He's never been in one of those to and fro like, and where he's been able to sort of drag it back. He's always been a dominating force, shall we say, except for his last fight, which helps throw the questions in. If he hadn't had that fight against Verdum, no one would be giving
Browne
Travis
much
of a chance.
Kane would be champ still, though. That's why. Well, potentially still be champion. So it wouldn't have happened anyway. Yeah. So there's a lot to take into that fight than just what it looks like. There's a lot of question marks, and that's what makes that fight.
Which makes it better for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Super real. Yeah. So that's a 3-round heavyweight fight. That goes on, kicks off the card, and no matter which way that goes, I can't see it being a boring fight. Because even if Kane were to get the takedown to just maul him on the ground, it'll be interesting.
Another thing is Kane uses those 5 rounds really well. You know, he goes off at a pace and keeps going, and other heavyweights can't hang in there. Being a 3-rounder, this again helps Travis. You know. Yeah,
that's what I was saying before. I said that before. Yeah, it plays. It's more to Travis's advantage. It's a 3-round fight because.
Totally.
Like you can't. Kane can keep a good output, but Travis is more likely to be able to handle that output for 3 rounds than he is for 5.
It's a weapon that Kane doesn't have in this fight.
And next fight on the card is it's not an interim title fight. It's not. It's the fight. It's basically the featherweight title because I can't see Conor going back down to 145. I really can't. I can't see it. But let's say he does. But anyway, interim title. The rematch.
Sexy fight.
Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar. All right.
Yeah.
Like you said, Mike, it is no pants time kind of fight. All right.
Yeah, and it's amazing it's taken so long to redo.
It is. It is amazing, but at the same time, it's one of them ones where you sit there and think, what's happened with the other guys in that division? It's why they've done it, and I can see why they did it. So, Mike, come on then. Let's see your perspective on two average fighters coming down.
Right. So with Frankie, I actually thought he won the first fight. But even if we take that away, Frankie has gone on and improved and got better. I think we've got a better Frankie now than what we had back then. And also we've got a very confident Frankie. You know, he's not coming off a loss. He's coming off a win. and some fantastic wins as well. I mean, against Cub and obviously being Mendes, like in fantastic fashion. You know, he did to Mendes what Conor couldn't do. So, you know, I think that might have had something to do with what Conor had done to him, though. I think, you know, with being knocked out in not that much earlier, but even still,
he didn't get knocked out by McGregor. He got a TKO. He gassed out. He was so exhausted.
He took a few headshots, like. But anyway, Frankie went in there and did a number on him. You know, so Frank. No, like people were screaming about Conor, but not anyone's putting large bets on Conor whenever they mention Frankie. You know, he seems to be the man out there. And also, you've got Aldo coming off a massive KO loss. You know, and does Aldo look any better than he did when he fought Frankie? Okay, he had a good fight against Mendes. You know, a 5-round fight against Mendes. But Frankie went in there and annihilated him. You know, so I think this is Frankie's time. I don't see anything in the way of Frankie at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't. What do I say? Frankie's time.
I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I'm with you in the sense that it's Frankie's time. And the reason why I say it's Frankie's time, so you think Frankie's going to win?
Yes.
Right, okay. And you just think that because
he's on fire at the moment.
Can you just elaborate a bit more, bro?
Right, okay, yeah. So Frankie has answered every question put in front of him and answered it with style. You know, it's glittery pens and all sorts. He's done more than it's expected of him. You know, whereas Aldo has had an exciting fight against Mendes, but it was a to and fro war, you know, where he had to take his own punishment in that one. And of course, he got sparkoed in one shot from Conor. So, who's had, you know, the better run since? You'd have to say it's Frankie.
Yeah, he has. No, the thing is, you know, like you say, since the fight happened, Aldo went on and he had take away the Conor fight because that only lasted X amount of seconds.
Yeah.
Prior to that, Aldo had 3 other fights since Frankie, and he had 14 rounds of war, right? Especially
and a few injuries in there as well.
Talk about the Chad fight, which was a hell of a scrap. That was a monster.
Yeah, that'll take time off your life. That will.
They beat the shit out of each other. Simple as that. There's no way about that. But then the Ricardo Lamas fight, Ricardo Lamas had a really strong 5th round and was having. And you know what? Again, it's a standard Jose Aldo flakes off in the 5th round. It's a 5-round fight. We know, especially with the performance against Cub Swanson, Frankie's relentless, and his determination to want to finish a fight is what's so absolutely different between these two guys. Because Frankie went again, literally mauled Chad, right? Cub Swanson. Wasn't even. Cub was out, was going to lose the decision, it was clear. But Frankie, until the last few seconds, kept going for that choke to finish that fight. Aldo will do what he needs to get done to get those 3 rounds ticked in that box, and he will try to not coast, but get enough to get through to the end of the round and get that decision.
And also, yeah, sorry, I was going to say, and also, Frankie's been in there. He's felt what an on-form, the best Aldo that Aldo can be, and Aldo's only going to decline, I believe, because he's had those battles. Whereas Frankie is now better than where he was. Aldo, I don't think can be as good as where he was. So I think Frankie can push that pace more. He knows that he's got to come out in that 1st round, push, and keep pushing. Make Aldo fight those first 3 rounds like he does, but then fight that 4th round and fight that 5th round as well.
Yeah, yes, and I think Frankie, though, I don't think he won't even go 3 rounds. I think Frankie has, especially the work he does with Mark Henry, that he has been evolving and growing, and especially the Chad Mendes thing, they worked on Frankie planting his feet a little bit more to throw more power in his strikes, whereas before he was throwing them, but he wasn't planting because he was moving, angling away. I think he will do the same in this fight. He will have a bit more sting in his shots when he hits Jose. And also, over in Yao, they, like, for example, Pena Barão and Josie, they ain't been having the best of times since, I'm not saying since USADA kicked in, but they've been having a bit of a rough time since they fell off their crown. And mentally for Aldo...
I was going to say, where's the confidence in this fight?
It's getting that mental game back. And can Aldo... Obviously, it's not Conor he's fighting, so the emotion might not be there as much. But for Aldo, it's a definite battle game of the mental side and the mental aspect. Huge stage UFC 200 for Aldo. Huge, massive. You know, he could have easily went onto a headline of Fox Sports 1 card or maybe be on like another pay-per-view card that isn't this. It's a big step up and a big ass. But look, I'm siding with Frankie. I think he does it in under 3, in my opinion. But we'll see how the fight goes down. Mike, this fight, next one up, is... I think it's the... I know that TJ Dillashaw and Aslan Sau has got the biggest margin in the bookies, but for me, I see this as a big margin as well. Miesha Tate against Amanda Nunes. Now, Amanda Nunes, don't get me wrong, folks, she is a legit fighter, and she is game. She hits like a fucking tank. She is kind of like Josie Aldo. She can go hard, and then she flakes off.
I was going to say exactly. What's she like in those championship rounds? That's what we need to see.
Look at this fight, Mike. What are you looking at? What are you looking for?
I see tried and tested, battle-worn, winning championship fights time and time again, Miesha Tate, against somebody who struggles for 3 rounds, let alone 5. And Miesha Tate is going to have that wrestling, you know, she's going to have that hard-working sort of pace on her. And, you know, I think that she'll, you know, and this confidence as well, to know that she can stay in a fight that she's losing. She can stay there, and she knows that, don't worry if it's the last round, you know, just stay in the fight. An opportunity may come, you know, and make those opportunities come. You know, I think all of this is the best preparation you can have for a fight like this, and I think that my confidence has to go with Miesha Tate on this one.
Miesha Tate will be favourite, and as well, what people got to realise, her last fight was against Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko was Nunes' last fight, and that was not that long ago. It was only, I think, three or 4 months ago. Maybe that max. And
she struggled.
No, not struggled. Like in that fight, she was winning at the start, and then at the end, she tapered off, and she couldn't keep that pace up.
That's what I mean. Like she struggled to finish, you know, in the twilight of that fight.
Now, in the fight itself, like that shows that her conditioning needs to improve for a 5-round fight. She's only got 3 to 4 months, people, to improve her conditioning. That is not enough time to get yourself prepped and physically in the shape for a 5-round fight, because it is a completely different pace and a different tempo, and it's also a different physical condition you need than a 3-round fight. I truly believe that, and also the level of competition. So Amanda Nunes lost to Kat Zingano, right? Since that loss, she beat Shania Baszler, who, you know, anyone could beat, to be fair, in the UFC bantamweight division. She was never a rock star, and to be fair, like she was a pioneer in a day. Like she made big marks, big strides, but when it came to the sport evolving and growing,
came slightly too early.
she just didn't go up with the curve. She didn't follow the curve, and then she also fell into Ronda Hypolava. Anyway, then you've got she beat Sarah McMahon, which is a solid enough fight to win. You know, kudos to her on that one. And like I say, then you had the Shevchenko fight. I don't feel that's the same enough. Those 3 names are not enough caliber compared to what Miesha's had. And Miesha, again, my factor for Miesha where it could affect her is the media obligations of being a champion in the UFC. She's been around a lot of places, doing a lot of interviews. How much of her training has been interfered with? How much conditioning side is that going to take an effect on? Because you may not think it at the time, but when it comes to fight day, it can happen. It can make a difference. That's one thing I'm not worried about, but I'm curious about. But when it comes to perspective of game plan, the power that Amanda Nunes has with her hands at the start of the round and her kicks, they are absolutely horrendous. They are going to hurt you. They're just nightmares. They've got nightmares written all over them. But for Miesha Tate, if she can say weather that storm, but I would say more just I would grab her. I would grab Amanda Nunes, and I would make that first round a round where it just flies her out. I just grind her down. But
even if you lose that first round, make her work, make her invest in that first round. You know, it's.
I'm going myself. I'm going third, fourth round, probably a TKO, because I reckon she will break her down so much she'll get her down, and she'll just pound her out.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Miesha, this fight, Miesha will make her feel like she's done 3 rounds by the end of the second.
Yeah.
So by the end of the third, if she manages to get there, I think she'll literally be a passenger, and Miesha will then either start to pull away, like really start to pull away and gap her, or finish her. I think it might even get to the end of the fourth.
So next up,
Mike, you know.
Well, Mike, next up, we're going to do co-main event, Mark Hunt, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
that fight will bring a lot of numbers in to the card that would not probably have bought the card previously. But Mike, fight perspective-wise, between two physical juggernauts.
Yeah. So
go.
Right. So the fight, as far as titles and all the rest of it, it doesn't really have any meaning at all, I don't think. But it's like a gift. It's all for fun. You know, it's like a wish list sort of. You know, if you had the PlayStation game, you've probably done this already. You know, it's the big question is can Brock get Mark Hunt to the ground? I see that as the only thing. If he can't, I think he's in for the shittiest time of his life. Because Mark
I would not want to stand. Yeah, I would. Yeah, if I was Brock, obviously we all know the game for Brock.
Mark Hunt's fight IQ is through the roof. You know, he can lay traps for you left, right, and centre, and I don't care if Brock had only been striking since we last saw him in the cage. He can't to the same level Mark Hunt is. He'll always be behind. So it all comes down to whether Brock can get the ground. Is he good? Yeah, he is good. Because fortunately,
Brock's, So what's your thought then on how this fight is probably going to get finished then? How do you think the fight's going to go? Do you think it's going to go 3 rounds? Do you think there's going to be a stoppage?
No. I think 2 rounds. It might even be over in 1 round, actually. I think comes out fast, rushes Mark Hunt. And if you come out fast, or you absolutely ruin things for yourself, because Mark Hunt knows what's coming. You know, he knows that probably Brock is going to rush him. No, he's not going to come in slow. He's got to try and force the takedown. So I think Marcus has to be ready to go. He will land, and we all know that Mark Hunt doesn't need a succession of punches. He needs 1. And
right, Mike, what I'm trying to say is, what do you think is going to happen in the fight? You're just prolonging this, spit it out. How's the fight got to go down?
Yeah, Mark Hunt by walk away.
Right. Okay. So, from my point of view, it's too short a time for Brock Lesnar to get himself, I think, in absolute optimal positional, physical fighting condition to take a fight on. I feel. He's a sick athlete. I think coming up against Mark Hunt, like you said, Mark Hunt's a good guy. But the thing is, Mark Hunt can stop takedowns and he can stop big guys. He's fought guys bigger than Brock Lesnar. Mike, he's fought bigger than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. You look back in his Pride fights and what have you.
Right? No, Mark Hunt's second fight was against Bob. No, was it Dan? Dan Bobic, right? He was Mike Tyson's bodyguard, and he stopped his takedowns and basically finished him with another uppercut. He finished him with an uppercut. So look, I had to look back and thought.
Well, it was a body kick as well in there as well, just for good measure.
So
it was pretty much he was done. You know,
he's shown that he has got. That was back then. I think now if Brock goes in with that forward motion, it's all about the angles. Cain Velasquez did a beautiful takedown defense on Brock where he deflected the momentum of Brock, and it was absolutely perfect. Mark Hunt, if he can just do a couple of those things, it'll make a huge difference. Deter and dishearten Brock, and that could really make a difference. I can truly see there's only two ways this fight's going to go. I see Brock smash by getting him down and basically pummeling him into the finish. A Stipe Miocic style fight where Stipe just grinded Mark Hunt down. But I feel that Brock can do it. Mark Hunt, though, again, he's that one-punch finish, off you go to sleep, and he's very good at timing. And what Mark Hunt does, Mike, that's beautiful, is he will throw out tester shots to see where you position yourself, then he decides what to do. Now,
he's got a good memory.
Brock needs to jump straight in there quickly and try and stop this happening.
Yeah, the longer the fight goes, the more it goes into Mark Hunt's hands.
The odds aren't that different either. They're quite close with the bookies. I'm going to go Brock for the hell of it. I'm going to go Brock smash, all right?
You're going to be homeless by next weekend.
Brock smash second weekend. Brock smash second weekend, just for the hell of it. Why not, okay? Because it literally is. I know it sounds crazy. Brock hasn't fought for 5 years, but it truly could go either way because of the pedigree that Brock Lesnar has.
You know what? Also, we're forgetting that, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not many people that actually like getting hit, but Brock hates getting hit.
Now, Mike, Mike, you know what? I'm with you. I was with you, and I'm with you on that. But what I take away the Kane fight, and I take away the Alistair Overeem fight because of illness. All right, I'm going to give him a benefit. I'm going to give him benefit of doubt with that one. All right, and he did have the
the guy was practically dead. You know.
And he said for a couple of years he was fighting all this blah blah blah. Right, so I'm going to give him credit and say, right, those two fights, I'll let it fly. You weren't physically in the right place, and it probably did have an effect. Shane Carwin, though, beat the snot out of him, and Brock still came back. So that shows that Brock can handle the punch a lot, because people forget about that a bit. And I think, look, that if I take that into account, if I see that Brock, I give him a bit more I have a bit more confidence, because Shane Carwin hit like a freight train. Mark Hunt, everyone talks about Mark Hunt. People got to remember, Shane Carwin was murking people like that. When he fought he hit Frank Mir with like a 6-inch punch and put Frank Mir to sleep. And like that, Shane Carwin was a powerful man.
I was going to say, but do you know who else does 6-inch punches and knock people out?
Oh, no, I know, but Mike, what I'm saying is... Yeah, but Mike...
Oh, yeah. He went in there and he took it, yeah. I mean...
Brock's been there before. The guy hits him hard, so... I'm not saying he can't handle a punch. I'm not saying he can't, he can handle. But what I'm saying is he's been there before and he knows he knows what to expect, albeit 6 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. But anyway,
I just feel that Mark Hunt is better at setting up those punches. He'll lay traps for you all over the place.
Brock is
the longer the fight goes, the more traps he'll lay.
But Brock's a bit more mature now as well. He seems, in his interviews, he seems a lot more mature in his aspect and look on the thing. He's just wanting to do it because it's fun. Maybe that has a better effect on him. Who knows?
Yeah, anyway. I think if your head's in a good place as well, it does matter. But I still see Mark Hunt.
Main event, I literally want to take my pants off right now rather than wait till Saturday evening. We have Daniel Cormier, basically, who was the light heavyweight title holder due to Jon Jones losing it against Jon Jones. Rematch number 2. Go on, Mike. Let's see what you've got.
Yeah. Do you know what? If Daniel Cormier ever had a chance against Jon Jones, this is it. This is now. But I still think that Jon Jones gets it done. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Cormier is one of... there's 2 or 3 guys in the light heavyweight division that matter. Everyone else is just for fun. You've got Anthony Johnson, Jon Jones, and Daniel Cormier.
Sorry to interrupt, bro. I'm going to let you keep talking and giving your perspective, and I'm going to go for a gypsy's kiss.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Daniel Cormier is coming in with fantastic confidence. He's beaten Gus in a to-and-fro war, which proves his toughness, if you needed to prove it anymore. And the fight against Anthony Johnson, where he got dropped heavy in that first round, he stayed in there and just wore on Anthony Johnson and managed to sub him. That can only help your confidence. But it wasn't Jon Jones, and only one person can be Jon Jones, and that's Jon Jones. But Jon Jones, in his last fight, didn't look as good as he did before he messed up the last time. And I think that is important. I think that helps Daniel Cormier's confidence, the last fight with that Jon Jones had. But then again, it was a short notice against the Southpaw and everything else, I think it makes it better for us. If Jon Jones hadn't had that last fight with brain's coming on.
OSP.
OSP, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say GSP. OSP. We would be saying Jon Jones. Everyone would be saying Jon Jones, but there is a part of me that thinks, you know what, this timing only helps Daniel Cormier.
Okay, I'm gonna. All right, so you think Jon Jones still?
Oh, yeah. I still think Jon Jones wins it, but I think because of the last fight, it makes it closer for me. It gives me that part of me that says, you know what, Daniel Cormier might do it.
Okay. I'm gonna throw my coin in the hat. Right? I'm gonna give my little the OSP fight. There's so much in that fight that outside of that cage, that the fight is the last thing I really think about. You think Jon Jones, his mother, she's still he's still not well with the diabetes. I think she lost her foot because of it. Also, he had all that time off with the whole mindset, with the rehabilitation. He had a lot going on in his head. Coming back, big pressure fight, because it was a big pressure fight because it's Jon Jones come back. Everyone expects him to walk on water, essentially. Yeah. So we fought OSP, a guy, different stance, Southpaw.
That alone, just being a short notice Southpaw is like...
And he's different athleticism than Daniel Cormier. Now, Daniel Cormier is athletic, but in a completely different shape and form.
Yes, yeah.
OSP is a way different, dangerous fight because his kind of striking, DC doesn't do it. So Jon Jones had a lot to take in. The pros I take from it is he got a win. He broke OSP's arm, and he got 5 rounds in him. So there's a lot to take in there, and he learned a lot about himself. And do you know what? It's almost like when Anderson Silva beat Nick Diaz. It wasn't fighting again. It wasn't a win. Sorry, it was getting back in again. It was going in.
Yeah, cobwebs and.
Yeah. It was doing it. It was just doing it. Was the big factor.
Getting it out of the way, getting that first fight out of the way. And to be honest with you, I think it'll probably do him good to have done it against OSP.
Obviously, he's going to do him good, but I think now with DC, he's going to go into DC fight. Jon Jones' camp has been on form. He's been fighting. He's not been out partying. It looks like he's trying to get himself in that more professional, not 24/7 probably, but more all-round, complete fighter. And again, I spoke with Josie Torres. He said it himself. He goes, the stuff that you see him doing sparring is absolutely obscene, and he's a light heavyweight. Now, DC side of things, I'm going to give DC a bit of credit. He's obviously went in since Jon Jones got suspended, beat Gustafsson, beat Rumble, beat the 2 guys. So credit to them. So it shows that really it is between DC and Jones. Now, he has had Cain Velasquez training with him. Big factor.
And peaking at the same time as well.
Yeah. Now, it's just the fact that he's had him there training. He's a completely different fighter than Jon Jones, Cain Velasquez. Completely different, but he's had him training. Now, my only concern is, if Cain Velasquez loses to Travis Browne, what rub and a knock-on effect can that have? You've had Rockhold lose lately. If you have Cain lose, I think that's one of the things that makes that last-minute twist a big difference. And especially depends on how Cain loses. If Cain gets, flash knocked out, out, cold, that can play a big factor. If you lose a decision, maybe not. But I think it's so hard to, right now, be concrete. I think that makes a big factor, Mike. Then, if I look at... And
I was going to say, there's also enough time for it to get in emotionally as well. Having 3 fights before. It's
not, exactly. And Cain's obviously got, because DC will corner Cain and Cain will corner DC. Another factor is, what else can DC add to his arsenal or repertoire because he's not going to be like, I'm not going to see him do the Vitor Belfort with spinning heel kicks on this one random fight. I don't see DC doing anything spectacularly different. He might be polishing what he already knows.
Yeah, I think the only thing he can change is not a physical thing, it's a psychological thing. It's like confidence. He's gone out there and he's beaten the two guys that no one else wants to fight. And, you know, and in good fights as well. And he says that he's not as emotionally involved in Jon Jones. I don't know. I think that one's going to stay in there. You know, I can see them being old and still moaning at each other. You know,
yeah,
pranking each other in the bingo halls. You know, that's not going to go away.
They need each other.
So I think the confidence will go up there, but the fact that Jon Jones is the only one, that's going to stay in there. And we all know how much DC feels about the not winning the Olympics. That's still in there, so he hasn't got rid of that. This is kind of a similar thing. You know, losing to Jon Jones is kind of not like, it's kind of similar to not winning the Olympics when you're the guy out there that should have won the Olympics.
And yeah, it's one of them ones where
if he can't let that go, he wouldn't have let Jon Jones go yet.
It's one of them as well. If he loses to Jon Jones, I can really see Daniel Cormier step away because, like, because second place is nothing.
And
like move up to heavyweight. I don't know if he'll do that.
Well,
I just don't.
I think also what will happen is to him, it will feel like it doesn't matter how many defenses he would have done, he would have felt like he never won the title because he would have lost. It would have been 2 losses to the champion that never lost the title.
Everyone will bring it up. Everyone will mention it. It'll always be there because that's him. He even knows that.
Oh, you're a champion. Yeah, but you never beat the man.
No one sees him as the real champ because he didn't beat the champ himself. Because Anthony Rumble Johnson and Alexander Gustafsson, they weren't the champs. They never were. He always beat the contenders who, you know, have never held that title. So I can just, for me though,
and when you're emotionally involved in this, second place is nothing. You know, it's first or nothing.
For me, Mike, Jon Jones, I've got Jon Jones winning it, and the thing for me for Jon Jones to cement it is getting a finish. That's the huge bit about it because Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier's not been finished yet. And that must be, I'm not saying that's going to think in Jon Jones' mind, but for Jon Jones to really cement himself, if he can stop DC, that'll make a huge statement. And you know what? I would not put it past Jon Jones finishing DC because if Jon Jones gets DC down, I should think Jon Jones should stay on top of DC if he can, use some grappling and try and smash him down and finish him in that way, or even, you know, keep him on a feet.
I was going to say in the last fight, he beat Daniel Cormier, his own game, and that was the thing that surprised everyone the most. It wasn't a case of would Jon Jones win or not. It was like when he came out there and started to get the takedowns and Daniel Cormier just couldn't get him down. And then when he got him down in that last round, thinking to himself, like, I got him down. You know, like, that's the only victory you're going to take from that? You know,
it was the last 10 seconds as well or something. And you got to
you know what I mean?
Stood up and was just like, he just didn't care. Like, lifted him up and he just didn't care. He was like, I've won. What are you going to do? Take me down and win.
Yeah. And he took, you know, it's...
do you know what as well?
I think it's going to be a better fight because
all fans are against DC as well. Like especially at that
and that bothers him. That really bothers him because DC's done nothing wrong. I think he hates the fact that you've got somebody that's done all these wrong things, and yet they're booing him. And I think it really bothers him because
big time.
DC comes across as a good person, doesn't seem to be doing anything wrong. Yeah. It's just that, for some reason, you know, they buy into Jon Jones more than DC.
Mike, I see Jon Jones winning it. I'm going to stick my neck out, though, and say Jon Jones will finish the fight before the 4th round. I'm going to stick my head out there. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say for the 4th round he'll finish it. I'm going to put a good little wild prediction there, Mike. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm going to go with. All right?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it will come down to the psychological side. I think we'll see Daniel Cormier almost quitted that fight.
I don't know about that. I don't see the quit side of it. I just see the technical aspect that Jon Jones will beat him on that.
Break Daniel Cormier.
Right, that's your prediction. I've done my little mini prediction. We have a little bit of a chin wag and a bit of a chat about the fights that are coming up on UFC 200's main card. We will be back next week because the next card is coming up at like 6 days after, I think it is. I think it's on a Friday. I can't remember off the top of my head now. It's Michael McDonald and John Lineker fight night card. So we'll be back for that, talking those fights, talking about the results that happened, which is going to...
Because there'll be lots of results.
Oh, my word. What the storylines that can come from it. Because here we go, Mike. I want to stick this out there for you. Imagine Brock beats Mark Hunt. Then imagine Overeem beats Stipe Miocic.
They'll want to make that fight straight away. Straight away. Because it's jing, jing, jing.
Crazy. So, look, folks, have a great time watching the fights. Yeah. I will be on Twitter tweeting about the fights, so please feel welcome to just have a shit and giggles with us. And thank you very much for tuning in, people.